Right. Good morning. It's 9 a.m. Friday, September 15th, 2023, or a little after. So sorry. Welcome to the Good News Live at 9 on Facebook and available later on our YouTube channel. Please be sure to comment in the chat. This is a presentation of the Allen Park Presbyterian Church. Good morning, everyone. I'm Suzan Maxey. I'm an elder at Allen Park Pres, and my co-host is Kerri Van, moderator of the deacons and communications manager. And even though she's the communications manager, we've still had technical difficulties this morning. Good morning, Kerri.
Good morning. Something going weird with Zoom, and we weren't able to share to our page. We have no idea why. So if you are capable, could you please share the stream to the Allen Park page? We are in the group right now. We apologize to everyone, especially poor Kip and Nancy, who are waiting in the waiting room. So without further ado, let's get going, Sue.
All right. Well, we were going to do something a little bit different today.
Why don't we do that at the end?
Because we always run out of time. And okay. You have to enable share screening for me. I can't
All
even
right.
screen.
All right, here we go. Here we go. I don't know what happens in the middle of the night that makes this happen.
I know. All right, let's see here. Come on. All right, here we go. Okay, so is it sharing? What can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your. There you go.
All right, so up here, we're going to go to the Allen Park PRES.org, which is the church website. And you will notice something new up here at the very first. As soon as you open it, you'll see these pictures. And it is a slideshow. As you can see, it's just going and doing its own thing through these pictures. If you click on the picture, it will take you somewhere else. And you can see here our upcoming adult class. It tells you more information about the class, and you can sign up right down here. Hit submit, and you're signed up for the class. Isn't that cool?
That is so cool.
And you can see it. It's a slideshow going through. So if you want to go to the Camp Wakanda weekend, you click on it. There's more information, including contact information for the director. And again, you can sign up right here, hit submit, and you're going to camp. All right, this picture here, whoops, well, this one here, send a prayer request to Pastor Tim. This goes directly to Pastor Tim, nobody else. Here, if you want to sign up for anything on the email, fill in the information, and then all of these lists are available. So you just click whichever ones. If you want to do Bible study, you want to be on the prayer list or something about it, if you want Presbyterian women, you click however many you want and hit sign up, and you're on those email lists. Cool, eh? Oh, Pastor Tim's daily devotion. Oh, well, no, we'll go to the good news because that popped up for me. And you can see it brings up.
Now, I have.
All right, stop talking. There we go. It brings up last week's show, but it also brings up a playlist of all the shows for the good news, all the way back to when we started. Okay. Game night is tonight. Okay. Let's see what up. And if you want to go through these pictures, you can go to these thumbnails down here. So let's go back to the church one. This one pulls up the worships. That's last Sunday. Try to stop here. Come on, stop. And again, it pulls up all of the playlists. And you can go all the way back to the first one that we had, which was March 15th of 2020. Isn't that cool?
Very, very cool.
So all of these pictures lead you somewhere. If you want to sign up for the trunk or treat, which is going to be held on the last farmer's market, which of course there's a farmer's market today from 3 to 7. A beautiful day. If you click on this picture though for the trunk or treat, it takes you here for more information on what's going to happen, contact information. If you want to get candy or whatever, you can go to the Amazon wish list. It takes you right to Amazon, and you can buy little toys that are suggested, or you can buy candy or gift crackers. You could buy all whatever kind of stuff that we, could possibly use. Okay. And also, if you would like to volunteer, you can have a form here. If you want to decorate a trunk, whatever you want to do, if you want to just help out with whatever is needed that night, just fill out this form, hit submit, and you're in there. So this is something new that Kerri did. It's pretty cool, eh? The pantry. Like I said, you can go in any order you want on here. The grief share dates. And again, if you click on the big picture, it gives you more information and takes you to where you need whatever you need. So if you want to sign up for regular grief share, you want to sign up for the 1 day surviving the holidays, just register right here. So we wanted to share that with you. And without further ado, let's call our get our guests in here. Can you let them in, Kerri?
I can.
Not working. All right, let's see if I can hit the button. So while they're coming in, I'll share this little page here. Today happens to be Kip and Nancy Horvath's 50th wedding anniversary. Woohoo!
What an achievement. Oh,
Kidding. No
on
kidding.
this day in 1973, they were married at our church.
Hi there. Good morning.
Good
Good morning.
We're so sorry for the technical difficulty we've had. Happy anniversary.
Happy
Thank you.
anniversary.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. So on this day, 50 years ago, you were probably both a little nervous and were probably preparing for your day. What time did you get married 50 years ago at the church?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
It was supposed to be 6 o'clock, and then Wanzer called me. I don't know how, a month before or a couple months, it had to be more than that. And he said that there was another couple that wanted to get married the same day. Back in those days, there was lots of weddings, sometimes 3 in a day.
Wow.
He says, "Will you go to 5 or 7?" And I thought, 7's
Wow.
too late. So I said,
Family line, eh?
I said, okay, 5 o'clock. It was Rick Martell that was going to get married. I believe it was Rick Martell that was going to get married the same
Who
day.
happened to be a classmate of ours
Yeah.
from high school.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's so funny. Yeah, they did have a lot of weddings, 3 in a day. That seems unreal now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, in fact, it was supposed to be a week ago, but and Wanzer says, "Oh, I don't think you want it that day because that's Labor Day weekend and everybody might be away on vacation. So let's go the next week." So that's why it was the 15th.
So that you'll think people will go on vacation instead of coming to your wedding, huh?
Come on vacation. first, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how particular he was, no flower girls or no ring bearers because you never knew what they'd do. So it was a production, and you behaved. I was more nervous about getting bowled out from him than getting married.
That's so
Oh,
funny.
my.
But here's the funniest part. As fussy as he was, and he was a perfectionist, we get up to the altar, the whole thing starts, and I looked and I thought, that's not what it says on the bulletin. He started on page 2. And I looked at him
He was,
And I-
he got a time. He had to hustle you through.
I tilted my head and he went back real smooth and started back on page 1.
Oh my gosh. Well, that probably broke a little of the stress then for you. You didn't have to worry about being
Yeah.
too
Yeah, I-
perfect, right?
Well, from this picture, we never know that anything that wrong happened. Oh, goodness.
It's so wonderful to look back at the pictures. You guys just looked like teenagers. You know,
And we
so
were far from it.
Yeah, we were actually at the time a little bit older. I mean, we were in our mid-20s, I think.
Yeah, mid-20s, yeah.
Mid-20s when we got married.
Yeah.
But, you know, the crazy thing is that we had known each other for
Our whole life.
our whole lives. I mean, we had, I think we sent it, Susan might have it there, that we had
Yeah.
this is
Yeah, you want to explain this picture?
a picture from Leamington,
Leamington.
Ontario.
My grandparents.
Oh, wow.
And that's a picture of Nancy's dad. And Nancy is as you look at the picture on the far left, I'm next to her. Her brother is next to me and her sister's, the tall one, is on the end. And
Yeah.
our connection is that our parent, my dad and Nancy's dad were in the Allen Park JCs together. So the families, you know, we knew each other, and that's where it all started. But we really didn't actually start dating until after I graduated from college and after I got home from the service. I mean, we knew each other, we were friends and all that good stuff, and classmates, but you know, this didn't happen until gosh, we were, like I said, we were in our mid-20s, and
December.
How old were you in this picture?
3.
I think 3.
3.
oh my gosh, that's adorable. So somehow this really long friendship, somehow a love connection struck when you guys went to college.
20 years later, eh?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can touch us how we actually got together. So,
Well, like Kip said, he graduated from Notre Dame and he got drafted right after. That was his gift from the government, was his draft notice.
yeah.
And away he went, and he was in Vietnam the second year, and I was good friends with his aunt and uncle and his cousin, and I always asked how he was doing, and you know, I had a brother that had been over there, so there's always a bit of worry, and they'd say, oh, he's doing all right. And then I would travel with a friend of mine all the time, and we were getting ready to go to Aruba, and we were going the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and then we were going to stay a week. Then the day after we got back from this vacation, my boss was having his yearly Christmas party. So I was going to ask this other fella that I had met, and I didn't hear from him. I didn't know he was back in Pennsylvania for Thanksgiving. And so if the girl I was going to travel with said, Kip Horvath was it. He went to
I grew up in Angelica church, you know, so I actually, when we were married, I wasn't a member, but that's another part of the story.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was a longtime member at Angelica Church, and at that time, with the war going on, when the servicemen would come home and they got home safe, then they would pray for you in church. So
Ruth says, Kip Horvath was in church Sunday. She says, again, this is on the phone prior to the trip. She says, Pastor prayed for him. I says, what's the matter with him? And she says, oh, nothing. He's just happy. You know, they were good friends. I said, oh, well, then the next week, just before the trip, Ruth says, Kip Horvath was in church again and Pastor prayed for him. I says, Ruth, something's got to be wrong. 2 weeks in a row, I don't know. She says, no. She says, he's just really happy Kip's back safe. So I hung up the phone. We were at work at the time, and I thought, gosh, I haven't seen Kip in 6 years, but you know, I'm leaving in like 48 hours. So I'll see if he would like to go to the party. Boy, that was a chance. I'd never done that one before.
And for me, I said, boy, I guess I have been gone a long time. So, but anyway.
So I called his aunt and said, you know, I told her what was up, and I said, is Kip dating anybody? She says, no, his mother's here. And I went, oh, geez. So anyways, he was playing basketball. He got home, he called. I told him about the party. We went to the party, and that was kind of,
That's his history, eh?
that was,
Well,
yeah.
yeah. Well, and it was so strange because like I said, boy, I guess I have been gone a long time, because I says, now the girls call you and invite you out. I just wasn't used to that, you know.
I didn't have the heart to say it was because George was in
Yeah, I know.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah. But I was
Good
the
old
second
George.
place. Yeah.
George, you snooze, you lose, George.
Hey,
Snooze, you lose.
so that's how that started things going.
Oh, that what a wonderful story. That picture when you guys were 3, that melts my heart.
Yeah.
I know that you guys seemed like you had just a wonderful life, and I know it was sad when you had to leave Allen Park, but you're still Allen Parkers at heart. You have 2 wonderful children. They're both married. You have 2 grandsons.
Two
Yes,
grandsons,
yeah,
yes.
we've been blessed. Our oldest son, Scott, has the youngest grandson. They got married rather late.
Yeah, they were in
Scott
their
and Melanie,
30s,
They were in their
mid-30s.
30s. And Wyatt is 10. And then Tim, you know, Tim and Kimmy, their story. And they have our oldest grandson, Trevor, who is 17 and is a senior in high school, which
Yeah.
I just can't believe. I just, you know, but you know, my opinion, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they have their 50th coming up in May of next year. And he remarked, he says, you know, you don't see that a lot nowadays. And it really is really a were And when we look at our family, both my parents were married 50 years, and Nancy's parents didn't quite make it because her dad passed away.
They had 44 years.
Yeah.
Now, my brother and sister-in-law, who we're having
Yeah.
dinner with later at Weber's,
And it was in the picture, the brother, the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
guy.
they've been married 55 years this year, and my sister was married 55
Yeah.
years. So there's 2 55s and a 50.
Wow, that's a huge, wonderful
And
accomplishment.
all 3 couples were married at the church,
Yeah.
Wow.
at Presbyterian Church.
Did
Yeah.
Wanzer
Right,
do the
Wanzer did all 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw Beverly Edwards post on the Facebook that she was the organist at your wedding. So she,
No, Becky Salowich, it was.
oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Was she at
But
Tim's wedding?
maybe at one,
Maybe at
Tim's wedding,
Tim and
possibly.
Kimmy's, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we have a wedding slideshow on our wedding page. I'll share that later. But that's fun to watch too. There's so many great, pictures of people that have gotten married at the church. And if you have a picture, just send it to me. I'll add you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then, as far as our church life, as I mentioned earlier, I grew up at Angelica Lutheran. I was confirmed and baptized there, and I was very close with Pastor Beyer, who was a longtime pastor there. Some of your listeners might remember him. He was really a great guy, and he and his wife had 4 sons. And actually, all 4 of them went on to become Lutheran ministers, and his whole family, long lineage of Lutheran ministers. But they're back in, I think it was 84 when yeah.
84.
Well, in 84, there were some things going on there that I wasn't real happy with. And at that time, the boys were, I think, 8 and 5 or whatever they
Our
were.
boys.
Our boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what we would do, after we were married, we continued going to church, but I would go to Angelica. They had an 8 o'clock service. Nancy would come at 9 o'clock, drop the boys off to me, come to Allen Park Presbyterian, then I'd take the boys home. Well, again, there were some things going on that didn't set too well with me, and Pastor Beyer eventually left. And I thought to myself, we need to have some direction, I think, for the boys. And, so I think it was around, if I'm not mistaken, around Valentine's.
It was my birthday.
Or your birthday.
That was
okay.
your birthday gift.
Yeah, right. So I told her, I said, well, we're we're going out for your birthday. I made arrangement with her parents, who lived only a block from the church, from the Presbyterian Church, on Harrison and Cowell, right on the corner. And I said, we're going out. So we dropped off the kids, and what our date was is that I decided that I was going to take the new members class, and she joined me, and that was our date for that night. And that's
the classic was Dave Swinehart was the minister. We walked, he knew Kip's plan. We walked in and he said, looked at me and he says, "This is your birthday gift. He's too cheap to give you a gift."
Yeah.
That is awesome, taking the new member class. Aw.
Lifelong gift then, though.
Yeah, because I mean, as far as I've been there, you two have always been so active in everything. Even after you moved, you still come to church. Kip used to, you guys were both very active at the very early service that we had, what, the 8:30 service or whatever it was.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, you didn't stop coming even when you moved. So I mean, you guys take your commitment to serving that church very serious.
I was baptized at the church. My parents were members before I was born.
Wow.
So was a lifelong member. And then when the move was made out here, Kip says, well, maybe we should look around out there. I says, you're taking me away from Allen Park right now. Let's take it slow. I want to stay with the church, and then we'll see what develops. And then it just, it's a great drive down Hines Drive. It's 25 miles, I think, or so. But the morning, it's a great drive down Hines Drive in the morning. And
well, and two, we've moved, it's going to be, gosh, I can't believe it's going to be 7 years this December. We've been out here already, here in Northville. And the main reason for the move is both the boys live out here, and
Grandkids, huh?
yeah, right. And Scott lives a mile from us, and Tim and Kimmy are about 5 miles from us. And so, that was the primary impetus for the move. And then as we talked about it, we were going through the interim pastor for a number of years. We really liked Jim Fail, and so we said, well, let's see what happens. And then once Tim took our call, we said, well, let's get in, and it's worked out fine. Especially now with everything, all the meetings being on Zoom. I'm on the finance committee, and we both, Nancy and I were both, not at the same time, but we've been on the trustees and president of the trustees, and I was the treasurer, working with Jerry and Janet, and so it's it's all good. So and when you're retired, every day's a Saturday, as they say, and so timing is good, and we're just happy that we still have our church family.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a lot of history there with all the marriages of myself and brother and sister, and my grandparents buried from there. I mean, that's sad, but and my parents were buried. I sit there every Sunday, and I have a slideshow in my head of the aisle and you know, everything that has taken
Yeah,
place.
and I know
Yeah.
we're not the only ones. I know there's not that many, but that come from a little further away. I think Kevin and Chris, I know Vaughn are down, they're about 20, 25 minutes
Yeah.
away. And
Margot
John
and
and Linda
Barry.
Clark, Barry and Margot.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's others. So,
Yeah.
but, you know, good place.
Oh, and I can only imagine on that fateful birthday when Kip took the new members class, how exciting it must have been for you, Nancy, to have like your whole family going to church in one place and not shuffling the kids around and two different religions. That must have been a very great birthday gift.
Well, you know, it's, I still remember when Scott was newborn. He was born in October. And like Kip says, he would in 75, he would go to the early service at Angelica, and I would drive up at 10 to 9, put the window down on the car, take the baby out. He went the window, and Kip took him, and I took off to church to get there by 9, and Kip took Scott home. So then we thought, well, enough of this window stuff. Time we figured this
Yeah.
out from here. It just
Yeah.
worked out because of when Kip was ready. I didn't ask him to leave
Yeah,
Angelica.
we never
you know.
put any pressure on each other. Matter of fact, even I think before the kids, after we were married, before the kids came along,
We went to
we would either go to both, or we'd
Yeah.
alternate one week going to Angelica, and then, you know, the next week going to Presbyterian, or end up going to both services. So
It was meant to be with when 84 and the changes were being made. It was
Yeah.
just meant to be.
Yeah.
You know.
there is a real, I don't want to take up your extra time here, but an interesting story. I mentioned Pastor Beyer, and you know, I don't know, I'm assuming they still do it before couples get married, but you'd have your, you know, pre-marriage meeting with the minister, you know. So we wanted, or I wanted, and Nancy agreed, that we wanted to have Pastor Beyer also somehow be involved with the service, but I don't think he was with the service, but he was at the reception, and I think he gave the prayer at the reception. But anyway, we met with Wanzer, and we were just talking about this yesterday. On the 14th, we had got an apartment. I had got an apartment at Fountain Park there, and actually in Southgate at Goddard and Allen there.
Yeah.
So that's where we were going to live, and we got the apartment August 1st. So a classmate of mine from Notre Dame who was in the wedding, he and his wife were staying with me. But anyway, on the 14th, September 14th, Nancy and I decided we were going to go to Denny's, that was on, at the time, was on Southfield there. It's
for breakfast.
For breakfast. So we walk in, and who's sitting there but Pastor Beyer? Pastor Beyer loved to eat. I mean, he was a great guy. Well, he said, "Why don't you join me?" And we sat down and we had our pre-marriage conversation with him, and we laughed so hard for an hour. All he did was talk about how his wife, who was a beautiful lady, just had a gorgeous singing voice, and very musically inclined, how she cried all night on their wedding night. And it was, oh my gosh, it was meant to be that we were able to meet with him. And
we laughed so hard.
Really...
I thought Denny's was going to kick us out. And I couldn't stop. I mean, people must have wondered if they knew he was a minister. I'm sitting there, tears are flowing down my face from laughter. They probably thought, oh, that poor couple, they must have had a family loss or something. Oh my gosh, that was funny.
Yeah.
That's like a God moment, though, that you would walk in.
It was.
That was like a God moment for sure. That's wonderful.
And I was close with Pastor Beyer's 4 boys because they lived on Cleveland. I was on Caldwell and Harrison, and they'd come over, and them and myself would play baseball on Caldwell all the time, but little growing up. And then this is how it developed.
Just all crazy circumstances, and I guess it was meant to be.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. And again, I said, hopefully Nancy agrees that we've been very, very blessed. And I remember hearing the legendary football coach Lou Holtz talk. He was a great football coach, but a great motivational speaker. And he said, the key to success and happiness in life is very simple. He says, you find something that you like to do, you do it with everything that you have, enjoy it. And also the next thing, he says, you find somebody to do it with. And that pretty much my simple philosophy. Again, I've been very, very lucky. So
Oh,
very
what a wonderful thing to say. I'm just so happy for you guys. You're just a great couple and such a blessing to our church, to your family, and to all your friends and church family.
Thank you.
So I hope you, we are getting late on time, even though we started late. It was our fault, of course, with let me read a couple comments before we go. Amy Bowerman said, great interview. Jane Hillier said, good morning. Linda Bowser, how do I say that? Linda Clark said, happy anniversary. Judy Martin, good morning. Happy anniversary. Norma Bentley, happy 50th. I wish you many more years filled with love, joy, and many blessings. Pastor Tim, glad I didn't see him watching earlier. Good morning and happy anniversary. Ken Woods, happy anniversary. Don Jones, happy anniversary. That's me. That's about it. So we're gonna put this on our YouTube channel, and then I'm gonna post it to the Facebook page, because the way we're doing it right now, a lot of people probably didn't know we were doing it. It was a great interview. And we just wish you like the best day and great celebration and dinner. You guys were just great to interview. You guys are just, the way you guys interact with each other should be an inspiration for anyone who's watching.
Yes.
Like you guys work together so synced. I love it. It's very inspiring. It's definitely made my day. And we wish you just the happiest anniversary.
Thank you.
Thank you very
so
much.
much. Thanks for having us.
Yes.
All right, Sue
I
is
asked
gonna.
you what your scripture, your favorite scripture was, and so I'm going to share that. It's probably used a lot for weddings, but it's beautiful. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4-8. Love is patient, love is kind, love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. Love never fails. And then another one, 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love.
Oh, that's my favorite. I
We
love
wish
that.
you all the best.
Amen.
Happy 50th.
Thank you.
Hope you
And
have
just-
50 more.
Right, and just so you know, Kip and Nancy volunteered to do this interview for their 50th anniversary
Yeah.
to commemorate
think so.
this day. So if you have a special anniversary, just let us know, because we'd love to have you too.
Kip always golfs Friday morning with the churchmen, and
I
he's
know, he gave up golfing
Oh my
today.
God.
Oh, now that is love.
That
he
is
had a chance to
true.
golf 5 days this week, but his basketball and other things interfered, and then he gave it up for this. So,
No, I
see, man.
I wouldn't miss this. And I want to just say, we really appreciate you guys. You do a wonderful job. And my hope today was, going into this, that your high ratings weren't going to drop after they saw this interview.
Absolutely not. You guys are fantastic and easy to interview.
Just like
Thank
having
you very
coffee with friends, right? I didn't
That's
like
right.
it.
Yeah, it
right?
was. You made it
Yeah.
very comfortable. Thank you so much.
And now it's going to be McDonald's sandwich between couple.
All right, there you go.
Get ready for our big dinner at Weber's later. So,
Love you guys and have the greatest day ever. Thank
thank
you
you
so
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who found us today. Sorry for the problems. It's always something with technology. Sue, do you want to take us out here?
Yeah, if you'd like to learn more about the good news, please sure to join Pastor Tim for devotions live at 9 Monday through Thursday on Facebook. And of course, join us Sundays at 10 for worship. It's live streamed on Facebook and YouTube and in person in our beautiful sanctuary in Allen Park, where I will personally give you a hug if you like. So we hope you'll join us next Friday for the good news live at 9. And remember, you are a beloved child of God, and God loves you. And so do we. Bye.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful
Amen.
week, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. See.
All right.
I don't know.
I can't get out either. Don't worry.
The red dot.